What if we only have 10 years to change our thinking before the problems of our own creation overwhelm us, reinventing civilization so that it's no longer a victim of its own success? Yet 20th century thinking will not save us in the 21st century. The problems we face come from a worldwide failure of leadership. We have to ask ourselves, is this the best we can do? We can do better, and we must. How? That is the question all of us are asking. How do we create a sustainable future for ourselves personally, as well as do something significant to help create a better world for all of us? It's time to stand for something that matters.
Well, almost all social movements start with kind of radical people shouting repentance. Stop, don't pollute, don't waste, don't buy all that stuff, don't have all that fun. They're always sort of in the mode of the reformer. And what happens is they get a lot of early converts, and a lot of those converts are kind of angry, and they're shaking their fists at the rest of us who are living in a decadent, wasteful way. Now, what happens is after you get that little cadre of people who are really committed and angry, all they start doing is talking to themselves. They may publish magazines, they may have websites, and they're fantastic at talking to each other, saying, ain't it awful, ain't it awful, ain't it awful, all those people, and they're finger pointing. And then the conversion to their view of the world just stops. And it never starts again until they start saying, do. In other words, you have to go from don't do this to do something. So instead of don't pollute, how about heal the earth? Instead of don't litter, how about beautify? So imagine when you see driving down the highway and you see those signs, this part of the highway is adopted by so-and-so restaurant, and there's plastic bags over there because they haven't been out there in a year. Well, imagine if we turned that around and said, how beautiful could you make that area, that on-ramp or off-ramp of the hospital, or of this freeway? So just imagine if there was a contest to beautify the highways rather than just to keep them clean. What kind of creative energy, what kind of ideas would go into that? What kind of pride would we have in our towns and communities and so forth? Well, the same thing is now happening in everything related to social justice and the environment. It's what can we do to create sustainable abundance? And what I mean by this is the world is not going to allow Americans to have had all this great consumption, this feast of consumption with 8 flat-screen TVs in our house and 5 cars in the garage, et cetera, while they, barely are able to afford a bicycle and say that's progress. They're not going to go for that. They're already saying we want to live the, quote, good material life. So what we need to do is figure out ways that we can live an abundant life in a sustainable way. Now, first of all, that may seem, well, that's crazy, we'll never get there. Well, in 50 years, we'll certainly probably get there, because right now we're trying to figure out how to make things out of atoms and molecules instead of iron ore and lumber. Once we figure that out, there's almost an infinite supply of material things that we can make at probably very low cost. Now, it's going to take us a long time to get there, decades. And the real question is, what do we do between now and that time? How do we create a bridge where people can enjoy a life with indoor plumbing and air conditioning and heat and all the things that we enjoy without destroying the world because we don't have enough energy? So there's certain things that we need to increase our bets on, and one is clean renewable energy. If we could solve that one problem, the amount of environmental degradation that we cause would shrink immensely. If we just change the way we manufactured even products today, we could probably take about 50% to 80% of the material we use in products out of the product itself. If we just manufactured products so that we could reuse them, manufacture those products, we wouldn't have to mine new resources. All these technologies are available today. Some of them are being used on large scale. We just need to accelerate it. We need to insist on it. We need to get excited about it. Now, the exciting thing is that if you look at this as an economic opportunity, virtually every product that we use is going to have to be reinvented in the next 25 years to be ecologically responsible and sustainable. Now think about that. Think about what an opportunity that is. It's the greatest economic opportunity in the history of the world.